emptying Rich Stadium, where the Buffalo Bills came from behind to beat the New York Giants 17-14. And if anybody can come from behind to win a game, we all know it's the Buffalo Bills. Here's how it happened. Late fourth quarter, Jim Kelly from 8 yards out to Pete Metzelaars for the win. So the crowd at Rich Stadium had something to cheer about, a cold and blustery night here in Buffalo, and the Bills now go to 3-1, and they remain in first place in the AFC East, and the New York Giants fall into second place in the NFC East because the Philadelphia Eagles remained undefeated today. Of course, with me, Kevin Kiley and Rod Woodson, and Rod, the of course, stellar defensive back for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You've seen Buffalo do this before. This probably didn't shock you.
I tell you, when they had to get it done, they got it done. Jim was really sputtering the whole day. In the last drive, he was 5 for 36 yards. And he put on a performance in that last drive for him.
Kevin, this game, the New York Giants, you said late in the ball game, if the New York Giants can hold on to the ball, which they normally do, they've got this one.
Well, they're not a comeback team. They're not a comeback team. And resiliency, to me, is the word that comes to mind when I think about the Buffalo Bills, and they just keep coming back. They lose Super Bowls, they come back. They lost the time of possession battle in the first half. The Giants had the ball for 20 minutes, and yet when they needed to play offense and defense in the second half, they won the time of possession battle in the second half. They get the big sack from Bruce Smith when they needed it. It's an amazing team, really is.
Yeah, you don't want to be the team playing the Buffalo Bills after they lost at home. It's been since 1987 the Buffalo Bills have lost 2 consecutive games at Rich Stadium. Interesting day in the National Football League. Let's have a look at the top headlines. First of all, the boys are back. Offense, they've got versatility. The defense playing well. The Packers go to 1-3, as Kevin says, the best 1-3 team in the league. And Troy Aikman, hot today with 317 yards. How about Seattle? Seattle only won 2 games all of last year. They've already surpassed that. They lost their first 2, have now won 3 in a row. And the Seahawks are rolling, and Bubby Brister outguns the Boomer, which you can't say very often. Randall Cunningham went out with a broken leg. He'll be out of action for 8 to 10 weeks. Ernie Johnson Jr. is in our studio in Atlanta with more highlights on that terrific game between Philadelphia and the New York Jets. Ernie?
Yeah, Bob, the Eagles stayed unbeaten, but it was a costly victory. And not only did Randall Cunningham go down with the broken leg, but Fred Barnett, one of his main targets, tore a knee ligament. He could be out for the year. A special teams guy, Jeff Seidner, ruptured his kneecap. He could be gone for the rest of the year. So it's time for the Eagles to circle the wagons, though they are undefeated, as they take on the Bears next week. Today, it was the Eagles and the Jets at Giants Stadium. Boomer Esiason to Johnny Mitchell. 21-0. Boomer threw 4 touchdown passes, 3 of them to that guy. Here are the injuries we're talking about. Fred Barnett gets hit. And you see the knee get bent. He tore a knee ligament. He could be out for the year. The Randall Cunningham situation. He's going to get some serious heat from the Jets defense, in particular Marvin Washington, Scott Mercereau. Watch the left leg. Broken fibula, that's the smaller of the 2 bones in the lower leg. Cunningham could be out 8 to 10 weeks. Enter Bubby Brister into the Philadelphia picture. Second quarter. To the old veteran Mark Bavaro, cuts the gap to 21-14. Fourth period, it was 28-21 Jets. And Brister goes to work again. And again, it's to Bavaro. A big pickup down to the 1, setting up a tying touchdown by Vaughn Hebron, 28 apiece. The tie is broken later in the 4th when Brister goes back to throw. He'll spin, but there's Marvin Washington to wrap him up. And that's a safety, 30-28. The Jets with the lead. About 8 minutes to play. Jets looking for more. But watch what happens to Boomer's pass.
The tight end in motion. Esiason, play action. He's back. He's firing. And it's intercepted again on the far side of the field. Intercepted by Allen. Spinning at the 10. Out to the 15. The 20. Cutting to his left at the 25-30. Allen at the 40. Allison at the 45-50. 45-40. Eric Allen down the far sideline. Steps over a man. He's going to go! Eric Allen! Eric Allen, but the miraculous return of an interception. And the
35-30, the final Jet drive. 4th and 7 at the 28. Watch Boomer.
Esiason back. He's rolling. Still rolling. He's looking. He's going to try to run. And he is banked out of bounds, and he won't get the first down. He won't get the first down. Byron Evans flattens him, and the Eagles are going to win this game.
A huge play by Byron Evans. Tough loss for Boomer Esiason and the Jets. 35-30 to the Eagles. How about the injury to Cunningham? Here's the Rocket Randall.
I stepped up in the pocket, and I was about to run out to the right. And then when I came back, I wanted to dump it off, and I saw Hepburn, so I tried to dump it to him. And right after I threw it, that's when I got caught. I knew my leg was caught underneath, and I was worried about my knee. But it felt like it broke in half. And I'm very flexible. My bones are like rubber bands, so I was lucky not to blow a knee. And I think I blew a tibia or fibula, the doctor knows, but the bone broke in half. So, but I don't think it'll keep me out this whole season.
So they are 4-0, are the Philadelphia Eagles. The only other unbeaten team in the NFL, the New Orleans Saints, a perfect 5-0. Those highlights of a win over the Rams still to come. We go back to Buffalo, to Bob Neal, and to Kevin Kiley, and Rod Woodson, and Bruce Smith, a cast of thousands out there.
We've got some Pro Bowlers on the set here. Bruce Smith is becoming a regular on the stadium show whenever we do a Buffalo Bills game. Of course, 8 tackles and a sack will get you on the show every time. Bruce, congratulations again. Up against a very, very tough New York Giants offensive line. First of all, your comment on that line and how well they ran the ball.
Well, they did an excellent job running the ball. We knew going into this ball game that it was going to be a very physical one, and we were fortunate enough to bend but not break. And I think defensively, we were able to hang in there long enough until our offense generated some points.
We're going to take a look at the sack that you had in the ball game, and as we do, talk us through it a little bit. This is the sack of Phil Simms.
Well, I had been taking him upfield all the whole game, so this time I thought I'd beat him to the inside, and fortunately we got some pressure out of Jeff Wright at the same time, and I was able to, exactly what I said, beat him to the inside and get the sack on him.
Yeah, congratulations. Good ball game.
Thank you.
You know what amazes me, Bruce, is that the Giants, in order to win this game, they had to control the ball. They came out in the first half, they did that. Over 20 minutes they controlled the ball. Your offense did a little bit better in the second half. But my feeling about the game is fourth quarter, you guys are going to be exhausted. You're going to have a tough time coming up with the big play, and yet you do it. I mean, how do you do it week in and week out, year in and year out? It just seems you can keep coming back from the dead, literally.
Well, we don't expect it to happen week in and week out. We have a very powerful and explosive offense. Sometimes they're going to struggle, and it's up to us to pick them up and get them back into the ball game. Today, that's what we did. We had a number of turnovers. We stopped them on some key situations. Therefore, it allowed our offense to get back on the field and generate some points. Not a whole lot, but they did enough to win the ball game.
From a conditioning standpoint, though, I mean, this is a team that trails. I mean, your offense trails in time of possession week in and week out. I think they're trailing. They're under 30 minutes a game this year, which is very unusual for a winning team. Do you guys have to stay, I don't know how to say this, obviously you're in great shape, but you have to be in really great shape to play defense on this team and to be able to come up with game-turning plays late in the game.
Definitely. That no-huddle can work to your advantage and to your disadvantage. And fortunately, in the past, it's worked to our advantage. But right now, they're struggling a little bit, and we have to make some changes right now and do some things a little bit differently to allow the defense to get some rest in between series.
This is interesting, having Bruce Smith, Pro Bowler, Rod Woodson, Pro Bowler, on the show. Rod, you got a chance to watch this Buffalo defense. You have any comments or questions for Bruce here?
Well, I'm just looking at it from the game point stand of view that every time you had to come up with big plays on defense, you did that the whole night. And, you know, just really tipping my hat to you as a defensive player. You did a great job, and it looked like y'all were blitzing on the last play, but you just really bull rushed the tackle and made the play, and I congratulate you on that.
Well, I want to thank Rod for that compliment because I think he's one hell of a player. I tell you, he has the utmost respect for me. But on that play, we didn't run any blitzes or anything. We just came with our normal 4 regular down linemen, and we were able to make a play out of it. We knew they had to get 15 yards on a 4th down situation, and when he started jittering his feet, we knew we had him.
Phil Simms had a pretty good first half. They ran the ball well. Second half, Phil came out 4 for 14, 2 interceptions, threw for about 42 yards. What did you talk about at halftime? Did you do anything differently?
Well, no, we didn't do anything differently. We thought we had played a pretty good half with the exception of some of the rundowns. As I said previously, we bent, but we didn't break. They had a couple of plays that they got about 8 to 10 yards or maybe a little bit more, but basically, we kind of went in the second half into the locker room and said, hey, this is what they're doing to us. We got to do something to stop it. And fortunately, we were able to come out and do a little bit of a better job in the second half.
Well, Bruce, we're going to retire the trophy for guest most often on the stadium show with you, and it seems like your performances continue this way. We'll probably see you again next time we have Buffalo.
Thanks a lot.
Bruce Smith and the Buffalo Bills get the victory, and the Bills remain in first place in the AFC East. The team with the most wins in the NFL, the New Orleans Saints. We'll have highlights from the Saints-Rams game when we return on the Stadium Show.
The Holiday Inn Stadium Show on TNT is brought to you by Holiday Inn. Stay with someone you know. Call 1-800-HOLIDAY or your travel agent for reservations.
I was born
In a small town. That's where my customers
are. Every day, important business takes place in towns all across the country. And every day, we're a part of it. We're in hundreds of towns like Opelika, Walnut, Hope.
The Northwest Southeast is my territory.
Who would know better than Holiday Inn how to make your small town and big town meetings a big success?
Warm. Welcoming.
Just like the town I was born in.
Just like the town I was born in.
Holiday Inn. Stay with someone you know who really knows you.
Coca-Cola presents Monsters of the Gridiron.
Isn't that Randall Cunningham? Not for long.
Play Coca-Cola's Monsters of the Gridiron. Grab a specially marked Coke, call the toll-free Sprint Monster line, punch in the Monster code, and turn an NFL player into a monster. Rocket Man? Call and your monster will tell you if you've won Super Bowl tickets, NFL merchandise, and Coca-Cola products.
That's Lawrence Taylor. Give me the Coke.
Always Coca-Cola.
Don't you wish we could just do this to air pollution? In a way we can. If homes and industries, power plants and vehicles would just switch to natural gas. Clean, economical, natural gas. Think what we'll save.
There are a lot of reasons people walk into my True Value store. Sometimes it's convenience. We're right in the neighborhood. Sometimes they want advice, and sometimes they're bargain hunting, looking for true value.
Like the October Bargain of the Month, the Thermos Coffee Carafe Set. It includes a 32-ounce insulated carafe and 2 bonus 10-ounce mugs. And in October, the set is just $7.99 while quantities last.
You know, the name says it all. True Value.
Ah, the moon over Buffalo. No sight quite like it, glistening off Lake Erie. The forecast all day, yesterday and today, was for rain, storms, winds up to 50 miles an hour. The winds blew so hard all day today, they could hardly set up the stadium for the game. Of course, comes game time, the weather gets actually darn nice here in Buffalo, and the Chamber of Commerce will be very happy about that. I said just a minute ago that the team with the most wins in the National Football League, counting everybody, are the New Orleans Saints. Ernie Johnson, fill us in.
Yeah, they're 5-0, and they beat the Rams today, and it was an interesting game for the Rams because they went to Houston last week and slapped the Oilers around a little bit to even their record, and folks said, hey, they go to Anaheim and beat the Saints. This team is for real and might contend in the NFC. Might is the word right there because the Saints own Chuck Knox and the guys today. Wade Wilson, early on, is going to find the rookie Derek Brown. This guy is quite a find. And watch the run. Nice catch. Slices his way and dives for the line and breaks the plane, and they're up 7-0. Tony Zendejas, this is one of the lone bright spots for the Rams on the day as they only got 6 points, but Zendejas set an NFL record with his 9th straight field goal of 50 yards plus, this one from 53. Jim Everett was the NFC Offensive Player of the Week last week because he led the win over Houston. Today, 10 out of 25, 126 yards. An interception right there, picked off by Reggie Jones. Third period, still pretty much a game, 16-6 New Orleans with the lead when they get a lucky bounce. Wade Wilson to the air. This pass is going to be tipped by Anthony Newman of the Rams and grabbed by Patrick Newman of the Saints. Wade Wilson must feel like Alfred E. Newman. What me worry? Here's a touchdown, 23-6. The icing on the cake comes from the New Orleans special team.
From the 26-yard line up to the 30, shoots a player at the 35, now at the 40 open, 45-50, 45-40. He may score, Look at him go. Down to the 20. He's to the 10. Touchdown, Saints.
That is Tyrone Hughes going 74 yards. It's a 37-6 win for the Saints. Last week, an emotional win for New Orleans over San Francisco. 2 in a row. Here's Jim Mora.
I know a lot of people felt like that the Saints might have a letdown. I read about it all week and heard about it this week. I wasn't concerned about us having a letdown. I didn't think we would. What concerned me was the Ram football team, because I know they're a good football team, and I still feel that way. As I said before, I don't think the score was at all indicative of the closeness and how tough that ball game was.
So back-to-back wins over NFC West rivals. They head into the break 5-0. They have a bye week next week. The only team within striking distance in the NFC West, the San Francisco 49ers, who are 3-2 after beating the Minnesota Vikings today at Candlestick Park. Dennis Green and George Seifert were assistants on the Niner team that won Super Bowl 23. They go head-to-head today, and how many times have you seen this? Steve Young, Jerry Rice, ties the game up at 7, a 39-yard hookup. Second period, 14-7 San Francisco. The defense gets in on the act. That is Eric Davis. 41 yards and a 21-7 lead for San Francisco. Fourth period, 24-12 San Francisco. The Vikings make it interesting. McMahon to Chris Carter. All of a sudden, it's 24-19. It was 31-19, and here comes the backbreaker from George Seifert's guys. Dexter Carter. How often do you see that? You bobble, everybody stops for a second, and you take off. Carter going 72 yards. 38-19, the San Francisco 49ers are 3-2. Minnesota falls to 2-2 in the NFC Central. Ricky Waters, 9 carries, only 8 yards on the day after he'd had a couple of 100-yard games plus. The Green Bay Packers and the Dallas Cowboys. Are the boys back? I'm afraid for the rest of the league, those words ring true, because Emmitt Smith, since his return, the Cowboys are 2-0. He had his first start today in front of the home folks at Texas Stadium, and it was the Cowboys winning 36-14 over Green Bay. These guys playing with a lot of confidence. Look at this, a first down pass, Troy Aikman to Michael Irvin. Aikman 18 out of 23 for 317 yards. Emmitt Smith, back to his old ways in the third period. He had 71 yards on the day, 22 yards. Vintage Emmitt Smith shredding that defense. The Cowboy defense, never better. Ken Norton moved to the middle linebacker spot. Look at that. Catches John Stevens. Held him to 36 yards rushing the Packers as a team. Brett Favre had somebody in his face all day long. This is Charles Haley as he bats it down. Favre throwing off the back foot yet again today. Only sacked him one time, but it went for a 22-yard loss on a fourth down, and Favre running for cover, and Jim Jeffcoat going to throw him down. Dallas 36, Green Bay 14, but it really wasn't that close as the Cowboys even their record at 2-2. The boys are back, and you're going to hear from them.
The guys believe that we're a good football team, and I know that Emmitt's presence in the Phoenix ball game really gave this football team an emotional lift, and then having them out there today, we feel like our team is intact, and we can go out and perform at the level we were last year.
If you go back and check your history, you'll find out I keep every touchdown ball at that score. So today's touchdown was just like any other touchdown, but it was a special feeling to get in the end zone, considering this was my first home game and so on, and first opportunity to get out there and start and play. It was a special moment.
The Cowboys win big. The Packers we're going to see next week here on TNT as they play the Denver Broncos. Meantime, batten down the hatches at the Hoosier Dome because the Cowboys' next stop is Indianapolis, Bob.
Well, the Cowboys playing the way they are, it doesn't really matter where they're going to stop, Ernie. They're playing good on all cylinders. Let's start here talking with Kevin and Rod, however, about the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay has dropped to 1-3 now, tied for last in the Central Division with Detroit up at the top at 3-2 and Minnesota and the Bears at 2-2. Reggie White went there along with some other free agents, high expectations, and Reggie White is not happy. As he said, we had high expectations of this team. We have not lived up to those expectations, and Kevin Kiley sounds like Reggie White is a disappointed Green Bay Packer.
Well, I think he expected to win, and I think most Green Bay fans expected the team to win. I think they will win. I think Reggie's a little premature. It's a very fine football team. It's a young team with a young quarterback, really. You think about Reggie being an older guy, and they can't get Tony Bennett in uniform. He's holding out for more money. When they do that, I think they'll be better. I think Green Bay is the best team in the Central Division. And, in fact, you know, Rod, when you think about going into Dallas, there's not many teams that can go into Dallas and beat the Cowboys. They have so many offensive weapons, huge wide receivers. They've got Novacek. They've got Emmett. I mean, how do you defend these guys?
It's very hard to defend that team, especially when they're playing at home. They got so many weapons. They got Irving, they got Harper, they got Novacek, and then especially with bringing Emmett back. Emmett, I think he's the key to that offense. He brings a different dimension. He's opened up the running game, and that opens up the offense. I mean, it opens up the passing game, and they're doing well. They're clicking. Everything's clicking right now for them last 2 games.
Yeah, speaking of clicking and versatility, take a look at this. Ernie said the boys are back. Indeed, they are. Scored on 8 of their 9 first possession. Michael Irvin had a very big day, and as Rod said, his size and ability really outmatched the smaller Green Bay defensive back. Emmett Smith was very good. Eddie Murray was 5 for 5 kicking field goals, and Kevin Kiley, a key statistic here in terms of talking about the old doomsday defense, 36 yards for the Packers.
Well, I think the Dallas defense, Bob, gets lost a lot of times because they have all those offensive weapons and some of the shakeups that Jimmy Johnson has made in that defense. He's gone with 4 different middle linebackers in 5 years, and he moved Kenny Norton, an outside linebacker, to middle linebacker today. Kenny responded with 10 tackles, and he didn't want to go to middle linebacker. Kenny Norton said he wasn't going to get the attention. He wants to go to the Pro Bowl. He said, hey, I'll get lost in the middle. Is that unusual, Rod? When a player, you may need him in the middle, he may be better in the middle, but here's a guy who's a star, doesn't want to go to the middle. Do you know of any other instances maybe where that has happened?
I know a couple, and it happened a year ago. They tried to move Greg Lloyd inside, and personally, Greg he's not inside backer. He's a pure pass rusher from the outside. And Kenny, if you look at Kenny, look at his body, he looks like an inside backer. He looks like he wants to get in the middle and get into the mix. And it showed this past game, getting the 10 tackles and getting more involved in the game. And if he can do that day in and day out, he'll get the recognition and get to the Pro Bowl.
We'll come back and continue with the Holiday Inn Stadium show from Rich Stadium in Buffalo in just a moment. And when we do, we'll have highlights of that Kansas City-Los Angeles Raiders game today, update you on Joe Montana's situation, and Craig Sager will have a look behind the scenes in that ball game when we return.
Hey, isn't that a Monterey Ranch chicken sandwich?
Yeah, we just brought it back.
Hey, isn't that your wife?
Where?
Ooh, could that dress get any tighter?
It's back. Wendy's Monterey Ranch chicken sandwich. Hey, isn't that Haley's comment? Creamy ranch dressing with real bacon and Monterey Jack cheese on a whole breast filet. What a combination.
What's my wife doing here?
Where?
2 can play this game.
Wendy's Monterey Ranch chicken sandwich. You better buy 2.
More Americans trust Napa for everything they need to keep their vehicles running and to help them save, too. Get this Napa Power Battery for just $29.99 after rebate. An Evercraft 30-piece socket set is just $14.99. And a 3-pack of STP gas treatment is a low $1.99. So run into your nearest Napa Auto Parts store today.
We keep America running. We keep America running.
Do you realize who's number one? You are. At Bob Gibson Dodge, you'll find only one thing: a fair and honest shopping experience with no hassles. They'll help you select the Dodge car or truck that best suits your needs. From a Shadow to the all-new Dodge Intrepid, you can shop, test drive, or just browse in a comfortable hometown atmosphere. Feeling confident in the product, the price, and service after the sale is what you'll get from Bob Gibson Dodge, with a 5-star service department guaranteeing you fast and reliable service when you need it, because you deserve the best. Bob Gibson Dodge, Main Street, Clarence. Honesty is not an option. It's how they do business.
Change your CNBC for Tom Snyder.
God knows what'll happen tonight.
Oh, okay. Fine.
This is wonderfully spooky. This is going to be some honeymoon.
Not a show for everybody.
I'm out of control here tonight, folks.
This ain't the crying game.
I mean, we did it several times.
Oh, I see. Fun stuff on the phone.
They're going to love us.
Western New York, Tom Snyder here. Join me weeknights on Channel 22, Jones Intercable. It is a smart choice. You got to the point.
Gonna be good, America.
There we go.
Tom Snyder, weeknights on CNBC.
We taste a lot of wine at Premier. Some people think that every day is a party for me. But tasting wine is a serious business for us. Premier probably tastes 4,000 to 5,000 wines every year. We can't carry them all, and frankly, we wouldn't want to. I wonder what store's going to buy that one. At Premier Liquor, we taste a lot of bad wine, so you'll never have to.
On January 3rd, Houston met Buffalo in an AFC wildcard game. And by early in the second half, the Oilers had what seemed to be an insurmountable 35-3 lead. Frank Reich, filling in for an injured Jim Kelly, led the Bills' surge. It was this Steve Christie 32-yard field goal that gave the Bills a 41-38 victory in the greatest comeback in NFL history. As we said, if anybody can come back, the Buffalo Bills can. They came from behind to win 17-14 here at Rich Stadium. New York Giants defense played well all night long. Carlton Bailey, the left inside linebacker for the Giants, had a whale of a ball game. And Carlton, thanks for joining us on the Stadium Show. My question to you is, on that last Buffalo drive, how do you analyze what happened that they were able to get down for the touchdown from your defensive standpoint?
I'll tell you, we knew coming into the game that they were going to come out there and they were going to move the ball. Our main focus is not to let them get a big, quick score on us and everything. So they're moving the ball along. I think on the touchdown, we had a blitz on and something broke down, and Pete went right in the end zone.
You spent a lot of years here with Thurman Thomas. You kind of saw it from the other side tonight, playing against Thurman Thomas. What were your feelings watching him run for 125-plus yards?
You
had a lot of yards. Yeah. You had a lot of tackles. He had a lot of yards. But, well, I mean, was it strange?
It was pretty strange. Thurman and I, we came in together. As a matter of fact, when we came in, after we broke camp, we were in this locker room right over here where the Giants are. And we were in that locker room together, and we always talked about going out there playing and everything. I had no idea that for myself, at some point in time, I would end up playing against them. So it was pretty strange at first. I told all the guys coming into the game, I said, well, listen, it's nothing personal. It's all about trying to get a W in the column. So when I have a chance to hit you, you know the reason why.
How good is he from the other side of the ball?
He's an excellent back. I think it might have been like 2 or 3 times I had a good shot at him in the backfield, and he sort of juked his shoulders a little bit, and I sort of just slipped right off of him.
Not like practice, is it?
No, it's not like practice at all.
You're playing with Lawrence Taylor now. He's an aging Lawrence Taylor. I know he had a bad hamstring tonight, and he left the game late in the game. What was it like coming into New York, playing with him, going on the field with him, being 3-0 with Lawrence Taylor? I mean, he's going to go down probably as the greatest linebacker ever, and you're a linebacker. Tell us your feelings about it.
I think as a player, as a linebacker, he was sort of like, I guess, my hero, and a lot of other linebackers in the league, they may not admit it, but it's the truth. Went to the University of North Carolina. I went to the University of North Carolina. So that little type of thing goes together. I've always, as a player, I've always wanted to play with him and have opportunity to play with him. Lawrence is truly a leader. Unfortunately, like you said, he left the game with that bad hamstring.
Rod Woodson's with us here. It's Carlton, you're doing such a good job. This is how you get the job of being guest analyst. Rod was such a good interview guest, we have him on. Rod, you have any comments or questions for Carl?
Well, the biggest thing is try to let the fans know how it is when you have the free agency nowadays. You got a lot of players moving around, playing against your old team. What was it feeling like to come back in the stadium, not being in the Buffalo Bills uniform?
I tell you what, Rod, it felt real strange. On the plane ride coming here, as soon as we touched down, I started getting these little butterflies in my stomach. I'm trying to say what's going on, because normally it doesn't happen like that. Then all of a sudden, once I got here, actual reality set in, and I went out there in the stadium, and I had some fans yelling at me. Some fans were like cheering me on, and some was just telling me how stupid I was for switching teams and everything. But it felt really good having an opportunity to come back and to play and to do well. Even though we didn't end up winning the game, you still say to yourself, you have to go out there. As long as you're happy with your play, then you realize that, hey, I made the move, and so since I made the move, I have to live with it.
Yeah. Carlton Bailey, thanks for joining us tonight, and continued success with the Giants. 3-1, dropped behind Philadelphia, but you're right in the thick of it.
Thanks for having me on your show.
Yeah, it's great. We'll see you again, I'm sure. And stand by. We may have you as a guest analyst next year with this excellent performance here on the auditions. And we continue with the live NFL football players. Kansas City and the Los Angeles Raiders, one of the more important games of the day. Ernie Johnson, what happened there?
Let me tell you about Joe Montana, Bob. There is no doubting the effectiveness of number 19 in the Kansas City uniform. Counting the preseason and the regular season, he hasn't thrown an interception, but the key is keeping him healthy. Remember, he hurt his wrist, sat out the Oiler game, and Houston beat him 30-0. Well, today he went down with a pulled left hamstring. He's going to rest and see how it feels midweek. Don't know yet if he's going to be able to go next week against Cincinnati. His injury, just one of the stories, as the Raiders and the Chiefs got together at Arrowhead, and here's Craig Sager.
After 11 years in the silver and black of the Raiders, Marcus Allen in familiar 32 with the red and white of the Chiefs. The much-publicized split between Raiders owner Al Davis and the Raiders all-time rusher, adding to one of the NFL's most intense rivalries. Add quarterback Joe Montana, who came to the Show Me State after 14 years in San Francisco, and the Chiefs were ready to show off their high-profiled offense. With all eyes, including those of the defense, on the future Hall of Famers, It was a tackle, Joe Valerio, who scored the Chiefs' first touchdown since opening day.
When you have a ball you have to either dive for or reach and catch, and someone's covering, you don't have time to think about what's going to happen. And the whole time I saw the ball in the air, I looked at my hands, I looked at the ball, I looked at my hands. I had too much time on my hands. What am I going to do with this thing when I catch it? I just tried to keep my concentration on the ball and not think about everybody screaming if I dropped it.
But it was a pass that Montana didn't throw that brought the sold-out crowd to their feet in silence as he lay prone on the sidelines with what was later determined to be a hamstring strain.
I mean, I would have thrown it if I'd have seen somebody open. They had pretty good coverage on it, and I was moving actually to the right for vision and just saw it. And had I seen the guy behind me, I probably would have slid, but I didn't see him coming from behind me.
While Joe Montana missed most of the last 2 seasons with an elbow injury, Marcus Allen missed most of the last 2 seasons with a bruised ego after he was demoted to 3rd string by the Raiders. He had scored 98 touchdowns for them, but career number 100 came against them.
I was definitely excited about that. I had wanted to get 100 touchdowns for some time, and it came on a good play. And most importantly, I'm just glad we won today. Statistically, for me, it wasn't what I wanted it. I mean, if I had to write the script, I would have wrote it a little differently, but we won, and that's the big thing.
That and the fact that Joe Montana is back on his feet and expects to practice Wednesday.
Meantime, the dogfight in the AFC West continues. Kansas City and Denver knotted up at 3-1, followed by Seattle, the Raiders at 2-2, and the Chargers also at 2-2. 5 weeks into the season, who would have thought the Atlanta Falcons would be 0-5? Another weekend for the man in black, Jerry Glanville. That story will be up just a few minutes from now, Bob.
All right, Ernie, we'll take a look at that. One of those old-fashioned scores between the Atlanta Falcons and the Chicago Bears today. We'll continue with the Holiday Inn Stadium show from Rich Stadium. Right now over in the Buffalo Bills press conference room. They're talking it over with the Bills players with a 17-14 victory. Come from behind over the Giants today.
Sunday night NFL on TNT. On one side of the tracks, a crafty engineer. On the other side, Reggie White, the trade. Broncos, Packers. Next Sunday night on TNT. Sunday night!
You probably have a good idea of what to do with old tires. But when you need new ones, no matter what you drive, it's a good idea to go to Pep Boys. They'll help you choose from a huge selection: Michelin, Uniroyal, BF Goodrich, and Cornell, and have you on your way in under an hour with a low price guarantee. So for tires that'll give you a lot of miles and then some, come to Pep Boys and drive away happy.
This is a credit card, so it's gold. Yahoo! I mean, no card is more accepted on the planet, but it doesn't make you some kind of celebrity. Actually, maybe it could. I mean, with Gold MasterCard's new Master Guest service, you can get free personal vacation planning assistance. The celebrities always have personal assistants. Master Guest can even save you up to 30% on great vacation packages. And celebrities are always getting special deals, so I guess Gold MasterCard could make you a celebrity. See you in the tabloids. Gold MasterCard, it's more than a gold card, it's smart money.
At GMC Truck, we've built a reputation for truck strengths. A considerable advantage. It also comes in this handy take-home size. Sierra from GMC Truck.
Murphy, that package you sent to Denver, it never got there.
Introducing tracking software from Federal Express.
It was picked up at 5:20 last night, and it was delivered at 9:42 a.m. and signed for by Kate Donovan. Shall I call her for you, sir?
Never mind. Now you can track packages right from your computer on your desk.
Stadium show live from Niagara Falls. If you'll notice, right in the middle of the falls, there's Thurman Thomas going over in a barrel. That's just one of the many feats that Thurman Thomas pulled off tonight. 125 yards rushing. When Thurman gets over 100 yards, the Bills win. You can just book it. Thurman Thomas, thanks for joining us, and the nice job on going over the falls there in the barrel. Tell us about your hand to start with. People are going to see that wrapping on us.
Oh, well, it was just something that happened in the third quarter. A helmet hit it. I think it was Michael Brooks, and it just got a little sore, but everything is okay. No broken bones or nothing.
What's the story of your Buffalo Bills and your continuing come-from-behind wins?
Well, I think over the past couple of years, we've showed as a football team that we can come from behind. Anytime a score is within our reach, we feel like we can still win the football game. We just have that determination of where if we're going to win this football game, we're going to have to do it on guts. We're going to have to perform well. We're going to have to take it all the way down to the wire, and that's what this team is made of, a lot of character.
You know, I talked about, at the start of the show, the post-game show, I talked about resiliency. It seems like this team, with all the disappointments you've had in big games and the ability to come back, but as I'm watching that fourth quarter, I couldn't help but think about a few years ago, the Giant game, and I'm wondering if that, in the Super Bowl, does that go through your mind, that the comeback type of thing, and when you do win the game, as you did tonight, do you ever think back and say, gee, if we had just done this or that?
Well, you always think about that after the football game, but that was a different situation because this time we needed a touchdown to win the ball game instead of a field goal, and it made a lot of difference. So it made the team feel like, hey, we had to get it done on this drive. And when I fumbled there, I was praying to God that we had recovered the fumble because we wouldn't have won the football game possibility. And so it was great that Don Beebe came up with the fumble.
Thurman, from my point of view, I'm an AFC player, and the biggest thing is out there is that the AFC teams can't match up to the NFC teams. And I guess you're 9-0 now. Every time you rush for over 100 yards, you're beating NFC opponents. Just explain to us why you're having such good success against the NFC teams.
I don't know. The success that we've had have always been in the regular season. It's just when that last game comes around, everything seems to blow up in our face. But like you said, we have done well in the regular season, but we just need to carry it over to that last football game. But I don't think is there any difference. One of the things that we talked about before we came out was that we had to be physical, like an NFC football team. They are kind of a lot more physical than the AFC, and we had to go out and prove that, hey, we can be physical, we can play this type of style of football.
I might point out that you had two inside backers for the Giants for former AFC players, Michael Brooks and Carlton.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And you guys moved them out pretty good in the second half. Carlton played pretty well. Lawrence Taylor, I was watching him tonight. He was kind of gimping around on his leg. I know you guys must have noticed that. Did you go after him a little bit?
Yeah, we went straight at him. That was the key. We wanted to go and say, hey, Lawrence, you're either going to make plays or they're going to have to take you out the football game because you're not making the plays. And that's what we wanted to do, and I don't think he was in there for almost a whole quarter or two. So that was pretty much our game plan, make Jesse Armstead come in and make the plays. He made a couple, but that was our game plan after Lawrence Taylor went out, is go to attack that spot.
Thurman Thomas, congratulations, 125 yards, and I know more importantly, the victory over the Giants here. And we're going to give you an extra day off next week. You've got Houston on Monday Night Football next week, huh?
Yeah, we're kind of getting sick of these late games here, man. We want to get into where it can be 1 o'clock and watch these guys here play late at night. But it's always fun to be on primetime television and get a victory.
Your primetime player, Thurman Thomas, 125 yards tonight. And now let's go back to Ernie Johnson, Jr. with the story of the Bears and Atlanta Falcons game. Ernie?
A historic afternoon at Soldier Field, as a matter of fact, Bob. The 1,000th game ever for the Bears, dating back to 1920. Of course, back then they weren't known as the Chicago Bears. They were known as the Decatur Staleys. 1,500 turned out and watched them beat the Tractors, the Universal Tractors of Moline, with a fast, fierce attack. And today, there was no fast, fierce attack for either side as the Bears hosted Jerry Glanville's Falcons. Falcons were moving in the third period down 3-0. Bobby Hebert, bad judgment here. He's under a lot of pressure, tries to throw this ball away, but Donnell Walford's back there to pick it off and kill the drive. That led to another field goal by Kevin Butler to make it 6-0. But on that drive, a frightening moment for the Falcons and defensive back Melvin Jenkins, who goes headgear to headgear with Neil Anderson. And number 20 in white goes to the turf at Soldier Field. He was on the ground motionless for several minutes, taken to Northwestern Hospital with a neck injury. They'll have an MRI. The Falcons' last chance, 4th and 6, closing 2 minutes. Listen up.
He's back to throw. Under pressure over the middle he goes. He's got his man, rises, and he's gunned down short of the first down near the 8-yard line.
Billy Joe Tolliver to Andre Rison won't cut it. The Bears hang on for a 6-0 win over the Falcons, who are 0-5. Here is Scott Case.
Nobody ever thought we'd be in this situation. I mean, we're kind of all just stunned, you know, to be sitting here 0-5. I can't believe it. But you know, you just go to practice and you try to do the best you can the next week, and hopefully we'll dig ourselves out of this thing.
Like the Falcons, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were winless coming into week number 5, but a funny thing happened to the Bucs today at Tampa Stadium. They discovered a running game, averaging 35 a game, last in the league. They had 128 against Wayne Font's guys today. Barry Sanders looked like he was going to have a field day. 50 yards on the first drive alone for number 20. He goes for 6, 7-0 Detroit. Pat Swilling missed the second half, bruised knee and a sore ankle. And that's when Tampa Bay put this thing away with 21 unanswered points. Craig Erickson to Courtney Hawkins ties the game at 10. Reggie Cobb, who went over 100 with 113 today, scores the go-ahead touchdown, almost gets stripped, but hangs on to that thing and makes the dive, 17-10. Andre Ware was yanked, 5 out of 14, 56 yards today. Enter Eric Kramer, INT to Joe King. The Tampa Bay Bucs win for the first time this season. 27-10, they beat the Detroit Lions. Lawrence Dawsey, though, might be lost for the year, Sam White says, because he injured his left knee today. Time now to recognize the enormous, even monstrous performance of the day in the NFL. Coca-Cola presents this week's Monster of the Gridiron. It's a guy we've showed you already tonight, Johnny Mitchell, the tight end of the Jets. Second-year man out of Nebraska. 7 catches for 146 yards today. 3 of them went for touchdowns in a losing effort against the Eagles. He only had 1 touchdown in his rookie season. He has scored 4 so far in 1993. Still to come on our postgame show, the Indianapolis Colts and the Denver Broncos. John Elway doing it again at Mile High. Those highlights still to come on the Holiday Inn Stadium Show postgame.
Next week on TBS. Superstars, super movies, twice every night.
Maybe that's what we need around here.
Superstar double features, beginning 8:05 Eastern, all next week on TBS.
People care about the world these days. They just don't want me to put another toxic antifreeze in their car. I mean, who needs toxic? So what if it protects to 70 below? Any antifreeze can do that. Tell me that it's different, safer. Tell me nothing protects better, and it's biodegradable. I mean, what if their dog gets into it? Or their kids? This is serious. It's a changing world. Poison's out.
The new Sierra. It's not just antifreeze, it's safety freeze.
The name True Value on my store gives me a good feeling. It means I give my neighborhood a lot more than hardware. I'm here with the right answers, the right products, and true values.
Like the October True Value of the month. This First Alert smoke and fire detector. It comes with a 9-volt battery, and the light test feature lets you check the power with a flashlight. In October, it's just $7.99 while quantities last.
You know, the name says it all. True Value.
When a man ran a grueling 26-mile marathon in a pair of dress shoes, what was he thinking? He was thinking, I'm glad they're Rockports. Rockport, you should be in our shoes.
Owens Corning presents an exciting debut, Pink Plus, a new insulation that's silky to the touch. The reason? Pink Plus is our famous pink fiberglass insulation wrapped in smooth pink poly, which also makes it extra easy to install. So get in touch with a premier insulation. For the Pink Plus dealer nearest you, call 1-800-GET-PINK.
You are here. He has the traveler's checks here. Think about that. Now think about this. American Express checks for 2. The only traveler's checks that either of you can use. Don't leave home without them.
Out of the heartland of pro football, next week we'll join the Denver Broncos and John Elway to head to Lambeau Field in Green Bay. John, big day today, 20 of 30, 230 yards, 2 touchdowns. He'll go against Brett Favre, who struggled against those mighty Cowboys, but the Green Bay Packers are tough. And remember, they've got 92 Reggie White from Lambeau Field next week. The Denver Broncos, and as Kevin Kiley says, the best 1-3 team in the National Football League. the Green Bay Packers. I love being able to quote Kevin when it's not his turn to talk yet, so he can't say anything. It just makes my day. Marv Levy, you saw a shot a few minutes ago of the Buffalo Bills press conference area. Marv Levy, the head coach, was in there talking about something we've discussed prior to this game, and that is the Bills' hurry-up offense, whether it's better to have Kelly calling the plays and hurrying up, or whether the coaches should call them more methodically. We thought you'd enjoy this insight into the hurry-up from Marv Levy.
The advantage you get of that is you can go fast, and if he gets a feel sometime, even if it's the quote wrong play, he has the feel to make it work. The disadvantage is the coach on the sideline really has the total game plan in front of him, knows what's happening in coverage. He has more information available to him. So it doesn't matter who calls him. It's matter if you want to go fast, your quarterback calls him. If you want to slow down, you call him from the sideline.
You know, just hearing Marv talk about the hurry-up offense, I was no all-pro, certainly. Bob will tell you that next time it's his turn to talk. Yeah, but I would have hated the hurry-up offense. I mean, when I play defense, I want to play at my speed. I don't want to play at their speed, and I certainly don't want to be tired. And it would seem to me that that would be a real annoyance to a defensive player.
Well, I think the biggest thing is that you can't get in the huddle. You can't rest at all. I mean, you have to stay out in your own, especially at cornerback. I have to stay out by the numbers, try to read our signals. And hopefully I got the right one. Hopefully we're playing the right defense.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
We're talking about the Denver Broncos, our game next week. The Denver Broncos played the Indianapolis Colts, a fast-improving team today. Ernie Johnson, Jr., what happened in that ball game?
Talk about fast improving. Let's talk about the Denver Broncos rushing attack. They were not doing much in the first few weeks, about 68 yards a game. And today, suddenly a spark. Rod Bernstein sparks them. The guys get about 196 yards on the ground. And Denver all over the Indianapolis Colts, 35-13. Of course, a full house at Mile High. And here's Rod Bernstein coming in, averaging only about 2 yards a carry, not doing much. The big free agent signing. He goes 60 yards on 12 carries today and a touchdown right there. And John Elway, 20 out of 30, 230. Touchdown to Shannon Sharp. That made it 28-0. And then Wade Phillips and John Elway dip into the old bag of tricks for this one.
Reverse coming, and it's going to be a pass by Marshall. Wide open, Russell, touchdown.
Arthur Marshall, his second career touchdown pass. Derek Russell, the recipient of that one, 35-13, the Broncos over the Colts. Now, when the San Diego Chargers and Seattle Seahawks met today, you could tell what the San Diego game plan was. They wanted to shut down the Seattle run featuring Chris Warren, the top rusher in the AFC, and make Rick Myra beat him because Seattle had the worst passing attack in the NFL. So what happened? Myra responded to the challenge. Warren was held to about 32 yards, didn't do much at all. San Diego's John Carney, look at this. 29 straight, going for 30, pushed it, not going to work. How tough is Rick Myra, you ask? Pretty tough for the first-year guy, being chased down by Junior Seau, who hits him low. Myra sprains an ankle, but the kid comes back. A 25-for-40 day for 282 yards. And he's going to hook up with Kelvin Martin here. Seattle, which lost already this year to San Diego, 18-12, wins this one, 31-14. Myra with a strong day. Seattle has won 3 straight. The final 31-14. And to repeat the stat we told you about at halftime, the San Diego Chargers, when all they do is kick field goals in games, they are 2-0. When they score touchdowns, they're 0-2. Go figure. Let's go back to Buffalo to Bob Neal.
Yeah, Rod Woodson, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Rod are going to play San Diego next week at Pittsburgh. He made notes about that. They're going to let them score the touchdowns. Oh-ha. Speaking of Seattle, however, the Seahawks lost their first 2 games this year, went 0-2. Now they've won 3 in a row. They defeated New England, Cincinnati, and now San Diego. But, Kevin, on our preseason show, we were talking about Seattle might be one of these teams that could perform better than expected. That's what looks like they're going to be.
And I think it was all in how Rick Meyer developed as a quarterback. A really interesting situation developing here. Drew Bledsoe, of course, the #1 pick in the draft. He's up in New England, and he's going to be a great player. But Rick Meyer was almost an afterthought. He came in late to camp. People said, hey, Notre Dame, they didn't run a pro offense. This guy's not going to be ready. He's not going to play well. 25 of 40, 282 yards today, a touchdown, no interceptions. Rick Meyer on the year is completing 66% of his passes. And how about Benny Blades at wide receiver? I mean, this guy's 10 catches, 132 yards today, had a great day. And it seems that Rick Meyer, as he develops, you start to see that Seattle, who was awful offensively last year, they have some weapons offensively, and these guys are beginning to develop and perform as Meyer does, Rod.
They've always had the weapons. Benny was hurt last year, but he's coming back, and now he has a quarterback to give him the ball. Even though Rick is from Notre Dame, he's still playing well in the NFL. Yeah. And I think the biggest thing, he's being very poised right now. And he's getting the ball to his receivers and to his backs and letting them work with it.
Yeah, on the way over today in the car, Rod was saying, well, you know, Notre Dame, I don't know what you can say about that. I says, well, you're from Purdue. You know, he does have a slanted view about that. We're speaking of Seattle right now. One of the reasons we think Seattle has a very good chance to even be a potential playoff contender, take a look at the upcoming schedule. They've got 2 automatic non-losses there on October 10th and the 21st with their open dates. But look at this. Detroit, New England, Denver, Houston, Cleveland, some shots at winning tough. Every one of those games.
Cleveland's always tough, you know that. And, of course, that Houston team, and you're going to be battling both of those guys for the division title. Are you surprised about Houston?
I really am. But, you know, the run and shoot right now is just not clicking. When it's not clicking, you're definitely going to be in trouble. Their defense is playing well, but it's been sporadic throughout the year. So hopefully Buddy Ryan can get them straightened out and Moore can get them started on the offense.
Hopefully he can, you mean?
Well, hopefully they can until they play us. I always wish them good luck, though. I don't like guys on that team, so.
Just remember, these are the words from the NFL's interception leader. Rod Woodson has 5 of them, and he pointed out he was looking for some more against Warren. You did say that a little earlier.
Hopefully I get a couple, Warren. Yeah, just be nice to me.
Be a little political here on the program because these other guys are watching. We're going to come back in just a moment and wrap up the Holiday Inn Stadium show and also get Rod and Kevin's comments about the Monday night game with Miami and Washington. Stay with us.
Citibank has really given us a new sense of self because we have our own identity.
I have a Citibank Visa card, and it does have my photo on it, so I have one less worry.
And not only that, but you can pick where you like. So it doesn't look like a DMV photo.
I don't know why the other credit cards aren't doing the same thing. We need a photo card. The family members can tell us apart.
Introducing the first credit card with your photo and signature on front from not just Visa, Citibank Visa.
More Americans trust Napa for everything they need to keep their vehicles running and to help them save, too. Pick up these halogen headlights as low as $4.99. Napa antifreeze is just $1.99 after rebate. And this Napa power battery is only $29.99 after rebate. So run into your nearest Napa Auto Parts store today.
We keep America running. We keep America running.
I was born in
a small town. That's where my customers
are. Every day, important business takes place in towns all across the country. And every day, we're a part of it. We're in hundreds of towns like Opelika, Walnut, Hope.
The Northwest
Southeast
is my territory.
Who would know better than Holiday Inn how to make your small town and big town meetings a big success?
Warm.
Welcoming.
Just like the town I was born in.
Just like the town I was born in.
Holiday Inn. Stay with someone you know who really knows you.
Coca-Cola presents Monsters of the Gridiron.
Isn't that Randall Cunningham?
Not for long. Play Coca-Cola's Monsters of the Gridiron. Grab a specially marked Coke, call the toll-free Sprint Monster line, punch in the Monster code, and turn an NFL player into a monster. Rocket Man? Call and your monster will tell you if you've won Super Bowl tickets, NFL merchandise, and Coca-Cola products.
That's Junior Seau.
Give me the phone.
Always Coca-Cola. The Holiday Inn Stadium Show on TNT is brought to you by Holiday Inn. Stay with someone you know. Call 1-800-HOLIDAY or your travel agent for reservations.
And you can see this is a lot more time in the Buffalo locker room than Rod Woodson of the Pittsburgh Steelers would like to be spending. Rod has been our guest analyst tonight and done a terrific job. Rod, thank you very much on your off day for joining us here tonight. Next week, you're hosting the San Diego Chargers at Three Rivers. Talk a little bit about that game and how you view the Chargers coming in.
Well, you know, they're on a team that needs a win. They're struggling right now on offense. Their defense is playing well. You know, but we're also struggling to have a victory. And right now, if we can stop the running game because they got 2 good running backs and put Humphries in his passing situation, because right now his shoulder's been hurting, he's not on rhythm, he's not throwing well. If we can do that, hopefully we'll come out with a victory.
Okay, well, if you have 5 interceptions, Kevin, I'll be watching every move you make next week, and no telling what he'll say.
And we know that guy.
How about the Monday night game, Miami, Washington?
Well, I think it's really a good game. It's a good matchup. It would be a little better if the Redskins weren't so beat up as they are. You know, they've injured Jim Lachey's out for the year, and Mark Rippon is out. But Miami coming off a big high as they beat Buffalo here, and the Redskins have been off for what seems like forever. They had a bye week last week. They were nicked up. Hopefully they can get some people back on the field. But I'll tell you what, if you're down in Miami, you have to watch out for the defensive coaches. Richie Pettibone, the head coach, if you give them 2 weeks to prepare, Dallas found that out in the opening game of the year, they'll come up with a scheme to stop you. I see it as a very, very good game, but the Redskins are going to have to go to beat Miami.
Miami and Washington on the Monday night game next week. I hope you'll join us for the Silver Bullet Stadium show from Green Bay, Wisconsin, Lambeau Field. And a reminder here, we're starting a half hour early, 7 o'clock Eastern time for the stadium show. Then at 7:30, the play-by-play with Gary Bender and Pat Hayden of the Broncos and the Packers. Coming up next on TNT, the longest yard. Football till you just beg us to stop, starring Burt Reynolds. For Kevin Kiley, Rod Woodson, and our entire NFL crew in Buffalo and Atlanta, this is Bob Neal saying good night from Rich Stadium.
Epic story of the 3 most critical days in American history. Experience the creation of an unforgettable motion picture event, The Making of Gettysburg. A TNT special presentation, Thursday.
On TNT, it's football the Burt Reynolds way, down and dirty. It ain't pretty, but when the inmates take on the guards, it's every man for himself, the longest yard. After the NFL on TNT.
I can keep a secret. Really, I can. But I just can't keep a great bargain to myself. I've been saving up to 40% on fashions and jewelry, housewares, and electronics.
Where?
Well, the horses couldn't drag it out of me. Okay, TV's Home Shopping Club.
Oh.
Sure. And with Home Shopping Club's 30-day guarantee, it's risk-free.
Let's shop.
Home Shopping Club. Great bargains guaranteed.
Hey, Western New York, looking for a new or used car or truck?
You'll find the largest selection at Culligan Auto Place at Main and Transit in Clarence.
9 new car lines and all types of used cars and trucks.
Over 500 cars and trucks.
You'll find the right deal here.
3 great service centers at 1 convenient location.
One of the largest body and paint shops in Western New York.
A great sales staff ready and willing to serve all your needs.
Your next car or truck is waiting for you at Culligan Auto Place.
Main Street, just east of Transit in Clarence.
Drives it in and can be yours with Easy Stripper in this incredible $19.95 offer. Yes, both tools for $19.95. Order now.
For rush delivery, call 1-800-421-2000 or send $19.95 plus $5.95 shipping to Easy Stripper Plus, P.O. Box 2666, Atlanta, Georgia, for your Easy Stripper and driver. Order now. Call 1-800-421-2000.
On TNT, it's football the Burt Reynolds way, down and dirty. It ain't pretty, but when the inmates take on the guards, it's every man for himself, the longest yard. Next on TNT.